Okay, students, good morning. So I'm going to start the lecture of CAPM. So last time I have discussed with you about the layout. So layout refers to the configuration of departments, work centers and equipments with particular emphasis on movement of the work, that is customer or materials, through the system. Layout decisions are important for the basic three reasons, like it requires substantial investment of money and effort. It involves long-term commitments, which makes mistakes difficult to overcome and have a significant impact on cost and efficiency of the operation. So based on these particular things, which I have discussed with you last time, what are the basic factors which affect the plant layout, like how you can able to carry out the layout with respect to the location and building, nature of the product, type of the industry, plant environment, spatial requirements, repairs and maintenance, balance, management policy, human needs, and type of machinery and equipment. So these are the various factors that affect the plant layout. Now, what are the factors affecting the plant layout? The basic objectives of the layout design is to facilitate a smooth flow of work, material, and information through the system. Okay. You need to have the supporting objectives, which will involve the following, like to facilitate attainment of product or service quality, like how you can able to attain the product, how you can able to facilitate the attainment of the product and the quality, the service quality that I have discussed with you, example of the Dell laptops that I have discussed with you. Then to use workers and space efficiently, how you can able to use the workers who are working in your industry in a proper manner and how efficiently they are being used for the given purpose. Then how you can able to avoid the bottlenecks. Next is to minimize material handling cost, eliminate unnecessary movement of workers or materials, and to minimize the production time or customer service time, and to design for this. So last time I have discussed all these points with you in a detail. So just a quick recap of what I have discussed with you. These are the supporting objectives for basic layout design. Now, based on this, okay, the production process normally determines the type of the plant layout to be applied to the facility. Like what type of plant layout you can have. It may be a fixed position plant layout in which you can have the product stay and resources move to it. Okay, I told you, like for example, if I want to make a bridge, then you have to put all the resources there at a one place in order to make that. So that is a fixed position layout. Product oriented plant layout, like materials and the machinery are placed following the product path. So whatever product you are going to make, your machinery is being placed accordingly, and you have to use the material accordingly. Then it goes to the machines in which the layout is being made, and then your product will be made. The process oriented plant layout, that is a functional layout where machinery is placed according to what they do and materials go to them. And then you are having the combination of the layout, that is the combined aspects of both the process and the product layout. So this type of the plant layout, that is a product oriented plant layout, is useful when we say the production process is organized in a continuous or repetitive manner. So as I told you last time, when we want to make the mass production of this example of the FMCG goods like the toothpaste or maybe toothbrush, which we are regularly consuming. So there we need to have the continuous flow of the production of the process of the component or the material or the product that we are making. So there we need to have the product oriented plant layout. So the repetitive flow, that is assembly lines, the assembly of the cars. So cars also and bikes and all these are also the assembly that is coming up. So the correct operations flow will be based in a line balancing exercise in order to avoid problems generated by the body. The plant layout will be based on allocating a machine as close as to the next one in line and in the correct sequence to manufacture the product. I told you about the product layout last time. So product layouts are used to achieve a smooth and a rapid flow of large volume of goods or customers to your services. Like if you see the diagram, when we are having a raw material, then it goes to machine one, that is the station one, then station two, three, four, n, and then it will be finished. So just an example, like when we go for eating a pizza, then there is a different set of salads that is available in that particular shop. So you can go to each shop, go to each salad shop, and you can able to use it for eating. Now, what are its advantages and disadvantages? Like if you see the product layout, it is having the high rate of output and low unit cost due to the high volume. It is having the labor specialization and low material handling cost per unit. It is having high utilization of labor and equipment. The establishment of routing and scheduling in the initial design of the system, and then the fairly routing, accounting, purchasing, and inventory control. Disadvantages: morale problems and repetitive stress injuries will be there. Lack of maintaining equipment or quality of the output, like how you can able to. This is one of the disadvantage of this type of the layout. Like if you can able to maintain equipment and quality with little effort, but there is a scarcity of quality and equipment maintenance here. Inflexible for output or for design, highly susceptible to shutdowns. So when your one machine will shut down, then the whole system will stop. So that is why it is said that it is having highly susceptible to shutdowns. A high utilization of labor and equipment will be needed. That is also one of the disadvantage of the product layout. Preventive maintenance and capacity for quick repairs and spare parts inventories are necessary expenses. That is also one of the important things which adds to the product layout. And then incentive plans, which will be tied to individual outputs, are impractical. Process layout. The process layout are designed to process items or provide services that involve a variety of processing requirements. Okay, variety means in the batches. Like suppose you want the some ice creams to be made for any function, then you are having the different flavors of the ice cream. Maybe some is vanilla, some is the butterscotch, or maybe some other. So here you can see they are being made according to their use in the batches. Like one batch will belongs to vanilla, one batch will be belongs to the butterscotch, one batch will be belongs to orange, and so on. So like this, you can able to carry on your process of the work in a batches that will be suitable for the batch production, and then you can able to apply it for your process. So here you can see product layout is used for repetitive process, that is repetitive or continuous process. Workstation 1, workstation 2, workstation 3. While if you compare the process layout, it will be going in the stages. Okay, job shop or batch process. It will be going in the stages. Like for example, this process layout will be used for the job production also. Like if a machine is being set up, so for that, all the resources will be taken up to that particular place in which that big machine is being set up. And then all the things will be done and that particular place only. So that is a reason like their process layout will be used and designed for this particular purpose so as to provide the services in a variety of precise locations. Process oriented plant layout, that is also called the function layout. This type of the plant layout is useful when the production process is organized in batches. So that is why I told you it is being useful for the batch type of production. Personnel and equipment to perform the same functions are located in the same way. So you can able to have the personal equipment that you can able to perform with the same functions that are located in the same area. Different items have to move from one another, and accordingly, you need to have the sequence of operations which was previously established. Variety of products to produce will lead to diversity of the flow through facility, and the variation in the production volume from one period to the next may lead to modifications in the manufacturing quantity as well as the types of the products to be produced. So these are the various points which will be taken into consideration when we carry out the process-oriented plant layout, which is also called the functional layout. What are the basic advantages and disadvantages of it? Like if you see the process layout, handle a variety of processing requirements and not vulnerable to the equipment failure. You can have the variety of the process that a variety of the things that you can able to do with respect to this layout, and it is not vulnerable to the equipment failures. Like earlier in the product layout, if one machine fails, then the other process will also stop. But here it will not be there. So you can have the one machine that will stop, but since it is a flexible type of the system, so you can have the other particular equipment that will work. So your work will not stop. So general purpose equipment is less costly and is easier and less costly to maintain, and it will be used or possible to use individual incentive system. If you see the disadvantages of the process layout, like in process inventory cost can be high. When you are using this type of the process, then you can see that inventory cost which you are using for this type of the layout, it can be high. Routing and scheduling, which will be a part of this particular layout, that is having the challenges. Equipment utilization rates are very low. When you see the equipment utilization rate, the equipment that is being used for this particular process, their rates are low. Material handling is low and inefficient and more costly. So material handling is like the transportation and utilization of materials. So that will be done through the material handling equipment like the conveyors or maybe forklift and all. So that material handling is very slow when you are having this process type of layout, because you are having the different set of machines which will be there as a part of the system. And it will be more costly per unit in comparison to the product layout, which is the inline layout. Job complexity reduces the span of supervision and results in higher supervision cost. So you are having the job, this type of the thing, supervision, where you can able to have the basic thing like how you can able to carry out the supervision of the different work, and if you're having the supervisory costs, that will be useful. Special attention necessary for each product or customer, and low volumes results in high unit cost. And accounting, inventory control, and purchasing are much more involved. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of the process layout. In fixed position layouts, the items being worked on remain stationary and workers. Materials and equipments are moved about as needed. Okay. So as I told you, like we are having a bridge, it is to be made. So the place is fixed. Now we have to carry out the construction work of that particular bridge in between the two ends of the river. So we have to take the materials, the resources, all the things to that particular place, and then we have to make that bridge. So accordingly, you have to carry out that particular process in the system. So fixed position layouts are widely used in farming, firefighting, road building, home building, road modeling, repair, and drilling for oil. In each case, compelling reasons being bring workers, materials, and equipment to the product's location instead of the other way around. So as I told you, if you want to make the road, if you want to make the bridge, if you want to drill oil from one place, you have to bring the workers, the materials which is necessary in order to do that particular work at that particular fixed position, and the equipments to that location on the other way around in order to carry out that particular process in a fixed manner. So you can see here the ship building. The ship is being built, it is being fixed at one place, and then the manufacturing of the ship is being done at that place in the yard in which it is that particular ship is being made. So that is an example of the fixed position layout where the construction of the ship is being done at one place, and all the resources like the cranes, the materials, the workers, all are being taken here in order to make this particular ship, which is an example of the fixed position layout. That is like the position of making this particular ship will be fixed in nature. What are the advantages of the fixed position layout? Is like it saves times and cost in the movement. It is flexible as changes in the job design and can be easily incorporated. More economical when several orders in different stages are executed. Okay, you are having the economy which will be maintained like when you are having the several orders that will be done in the different stages, and you can able to do the adjustments which can be made to meet the shortage of the material or absence of worker. So you can do the adjustment. Any adjustment can be done. Like suppose if there is lockdown or maybe some other particular problems related to anything like workers are not being available for this particular region and so on. So you can adjust the things in a short interval of time, and then you can able to carry out your work. So what are the disadvantages of it? Like production period being very long, capital investment is quite heavy. That is one of the disadvantages. Very large space is required for storage of materials and equipment. Okay, you need to have a very large space because, for example, shipbuilding. So for the ship, you need to have large cranes, large materials, and so on. So you need to have a large place where you can able to store that type of machines and equipments for that particular work that is being carried out using this layout. And as several operations are carried out simultaneously, possibility of confusion and conflicts are high. Okay, so you are having the several operations that you have to carry out simultaneously. So there will be a possibility that there will be confusion and conflicts all around. So what is the combination layout? Like for example, supermarket. Supermarket layout is so you go to the supermarket in order to purchase the regular livelihood things like the soap and the FMCG goods and all that is being available in the supermarket. So supermarket layouts are essentially the process layout. Yet we find that most use fixed path material handling devices such as roller type conveyors in the stock rooms or belt type conveyors at the cash registers. You will see that these type of the things like the belt type conveyors or maybe roller type conveyors that is being used for the stock room or maybe cash registers and all. So that is a combination layout. It may be the combination of product layout plus process layout, or it may be a combination of the product layout plus fixed layout, or it may be a combination of fixed layout plus process layout. So hospitals also use the basic process arrangement. Although frequently patients care involves more fixed position approach in which nurses, doctors, medicines, and special equipments are brought to the patients. So you are having one of the good example here, that is hospitals. So when you go to the hospital, you will see there the basic process arrangement, okay, involves the patient care, like how the patient is being taken care by the fixed position approach, in which a patient is being admitted into one room on a bed, and the doctors, medicines, and all are being brought to that particular patient in the hospital. Okay, so that is also a combination of the fixed plus process layout. Or a faulty parts made in the product layout may require offline reworking, and that involves customized processing. So you customize means like as per the demand of the customer, as per the demand of the customer. So accordingly, you can able to check the faulty parts and you can able to rework it. So moreover, conveyors are frequently observed in both farming and construction activities. For example, cellular manufacturing, group technology, and the flexible manufacturing system. Now, essentials of ideal layout. Essentially, when you are making an ideal layout, then what are the points which you consider for this? So first is principle of minimum movement. Okay, you need to make the layout in such a sense that the movement between the machines will be minimum. Principle of flow, like how the flow work of the material which you are using in order to make a product, how it will be there. Like it should be smooth. It should not be like it should be very cumbersome. Because if it is complex, then you will not get the quality product. Principle of space, like how much space you are acquiring in order to take up the process. Principle of safety, that is a very important, like when you are setting up a layout, whether that layout will be safe for the people who are working there or not. Okay, so that you need to carry out the principle of safety. Principle of flexibility, like you can able to include anything, you can able to remove anything from the layout in order to carry out your process in an ideal manner, and then you can able to work it in a proper way. Principle of interdependence, like how interdependently you can able to carry out your work in a proper way. Principle of overall integration. Overall integration means like you can include each and everything that will be there in the system, like the layout, workers, their safety aspects, their regularity aspects, everything. That is called the principle of overall integration. So how you can able to carry out that, and then you are having the principle of minimum investment. So minimum investment is like you can able to invest in a very small manner, small amount in order to get more output. So input will be minimum and output will be maximum. Now next particular topic is computerized relative allocation of facilities technique, that is CRAFT, or computerized technique for relative allocation of facilities. So computerized relative allocation of facilities technique, CRAFT, is a tool that is used to help to improve the existing layout of the facilities. Like if you are having a facility of a layout, it may be fixed layout, it may be product layout, process layout, or a combination layout. So when you are using a computer, then it will be very much easier for the companies or the industries to allocate the different facilities to that layout to each and every system, so that the product which the customer will get will be of good quality. So the facility is improved by swapping two or more departments to help arrange the facility to an optimum floor plan. Like for example, if we want to have a bridge, a cantilever bridge that should be made, so civil department and mechanical department, they can come together and they can make a bridge, and they should have the optimum floor plan. And then they are using the computers to improve their facilities. So the two or more departments that will help to arrange the facility to an optimum floor plan according to the following points, like craft is more popular than other computer-based layout procedures. Okay, when you are using the computerized relative allocation for facilities technique, craft, that is having more popularity than the other type of computer-based layout procedures. It is an improvement algorithm, and it starts with the initial layout and proceeds to improve the layout by interchanging the departments pair wise to reduce the total materials transportation cost. So how you can able to improve the algorithm? So it is an improvement algorithm, and it will start with the initial layout. Like initially you have made one layout, whatever the layout will be there of you initially, and it will proceed in order to improve the layout by interchanging the department pair. So how you can able to have the interchangeability of the department pair, and how you can able to carry out this particular thing in order to reduce the total material transportation cost. Okay, and it does not give the optimum layout, but the results are good and near optimum. So it will not give you the exact result, but it will give you the optimum result. Optimum means like you are having the n number of things. Among them, how you can able to carry out, how you can able to choose the right quality of the thing, right quality of the solution under the given circumstances with the given state, and that can be, that is basically the optimum results that you can get, and which can later be corrected. Okay, later when it will be used, it will be corrected, it will be processed further in order to improve its effectiveness, that is to suit the need of the layout plan. Okay, so it attempts to minimize transportation cost, where transportation cost is equals to flow into distance into unit cost, and it requires the assumption that move costs are independent of the equipment utilization and move costs are linearly related to the length of the move. When you, since craft is being used in order to minimize the transportation cost. So transportation cost means the cost where you, with the help of which you can able to, you are transporting the material or the product that you are making. So its transportation cost should be reduced or minimized. So there we are using the graph. So transportation cost is equals to flow into distance into unit cost. So it requires assumption that move costs are independent of the equipment utilization and move costs are linearly related to the length of the move. So here one important point, 3 points are there, like the distance matrix used is rectilinear distance between the departments employed. Okay, so you are having the distance matrix where you can able to decide in between the machines how you can able to make the distances using the rectilinear distance. Second is craft being a part oriented method, the final layout is dependent on the initial layout. Okay, so ultimately this craft is a path oriented method where you need to finalize the path of the flow of the work for making a product. So here, in order to do that, your final layout, whichever your layout you are finalizing for making a product, your final layout depends on the initial layout that you have made. So therefore, a number of initial layouts should be used as an input to the graph. Okay, we are having the initial layouts. You have to use that initial layouts in order to make an input to the craft. So craft allows the use of dummy departments to represent fixed areas in the layout. So you are having the use of the craft where it uses the dummy departments. Dummy means like creating a artificial department. Okay, that is not a correct department, but just to show that that is called the dummy to represent the fixed areas in the layout. So what are the basic features of the craft? Like craft input requirements are as follows. Initial layout. Initially, you make any layout. It may be a rough layout or something. Okay. Then the flow data, how your work is being going on through the different machining process that you have put in your layout. That is the flow data and what is the time for that. Then another factor is the cost per unit distance. What is the cost which is being covered when your flow of the material will be carried out through the system? Total number of departments. Okay, department X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. How many departments are there? According to which the craft is being applied on that. Fix departments and their locations. So you need to fix a department and their location, and then you can carry out the process. And area of the department. What is the area with which department works? So this is basically the features of the graph with the input requirements that will follow the given system. Now, when will craft be used? That is one of the important question. Okay, that can come in the exam also. Like when will craft be used? Okay, what is the need of the craft? And what does the craft do? These are the two important questions that need to be answered. So craft is used when the number of department is enormous that the manual competition would not nearly impossible to do. Okay, so you need to use the craft when the requirement is like you need to have the number of departments which will be enormous, huge, and then you are having the manual computation, sorry. You need to have a manual competition which will be nearly impossible to do so. Manually, you cannot able to compute the different activities. So you need to have the craft. That is a computer related system. So craft is basically used with the process layout approach. The important point is this is a very important point. Like you have to have basically use the craft with process layout approach, which also known as functional layout. That is also known as the functional layout, and that usually used in job shops or a batch production facility. Okay, that is basically we use for job shops or batch production facility. So next question is, what does the craft do? What is the purpose of the craft? So craft do uses a pairwise exchange algorithm that may not return the optimum result because the final solution depends upon initial layout of the plant. So how you can able to carry out the craft, okay, where a pairwise exchange algorithm that may have the non-written optimum results that you can able to use in order to get the final solution, that all things depends upon the initial layout of the plant. Initial layout means like initially what layout you have made. It may be product layout, office layout, or whatever layout is. So initially what layout you have selected, and accordingly you are making the algorithm. So rather than examine all the possible swaps, Kraft consider the swaps of only adjacent department here. Okay. Rather than considering all the examination of all the possible ways, Kraft can only consider the swap of only adjacent departments. Okay, adjacently how the departments will be worked and pairs that have the same area. So accordingly, you need to have the graph. That is the reason like the question like what does the graph do? So graph will do this particular following work. Okay. Now, what is basically the steps that will be used for the graph? So basic step of the graph has been modified in a number of times. Okay, basic steps for the graph is being used in a number of times for, but we use the word Pofet, Tompkins, and Reed, uh, the 1976 as a reference. A four-step algorithm that will tackle the selection of MHS and the layout. Okay, we need to have a four-step algorithm that we can tackle, and then accordingly you can able to select the MHS and the layout. These are the following steps, like determine the initial layout. Okay, how you can able to determine the initial layout for doing the graph. First step is you need to determine which is the initial layout that you are selecting. It may be the process layout or it may be the product layout. Second is select an MHS. Okay, select an MHS for the layout. Obtain the first step from a candidate list of equipment. And third is calculate the revised and revise the cost of each move based on the material handling equipment to each move. These three first step is repeated until the satisfactory solution is obtained. Okay, so you need to repeat these particular steps until unless you will get the satisfactory solution for that particular problem. So to get a good quality final solution, the users must provide different starting solutions, evaluate the final solution obtained by the graph for each of these and choose the best one. Advantages of the graph. That question can also come in the exam. What are the basic advantages of the graph is? First is the fact that the calculation is done by the computer. A sophisticated calculating machine is clearly advantages that save a lot of time and money in the process. So you need to calculate the computers, the sophisticated calculating machine, which is a clearly an advantages and save a lot for both the time and money in the process. It gives us room to define the variable and constraints that we are having in the real world. So how you can able to carry out the variable and constraints that will be there in the real time, and how you can able to use it for given purpose with respect to this particular process. And it provides the flexibility which can be seen as there are 6 buttons that can be utilized to generate series of different end solutions. So you are having a flexibility where you can see like there are 6 buttons that can be utilized to produce generate the series of different end solutions which you can use for your particular work. What are the basic disadvantages that will be there in the graph? Like it is insufficient or inefficient. When we are using the graph, so overall efficiency of using the graph in the different system is inefficient. That is why it is an inefficient system. Job time occurred job does not flow through an orderly fashion. Therefore, backtracking occurs often. Okay, that is also one of the important disadvantage of using the graph is when you are using a graph, this is an orderly fashion. Backtracking will occur often, and more idle time may be experienced while workers are waiting for more work to arrive to the different department. The not end results may need to be modified because once craft can be determined a solution, it may need to be managed to create a layout and that will fit in the plan. Okay. So you need to have the end results that can be modified. Once you can have the craft, you can able to determine a solution and that need to be managed to create a layout that will fit in the plan. And it is a greedy algorithm. Okay. It is a greedy algorithm. It is an algorithm that always takes the best immediate solution. Okay. Whenever you are using the graph, then what will happen is that it will takes the best immediate solution, and in contrary, a job shop that flows through the system is not always constant and cause fluctuation in the process. So you need to have a job shop that flows through a system that will not always constant, and when you use it, it causes fluctuation in the process. Here you can see the first step, example of the graph. We have taken the initial layout. So how it is like, this is a process layout, not the inline layout, but the functional layout, where you can see this is a first machine space, second machine space, third machine space, fourth machine space is there, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. The machine is not inline like 1, 2, 3, 4. The machine inline में नहीं है. Lines में these machines are not placed. They are machines. These machines are being placed in the process layout. As I told you in this particular thing earlier, this follows the process type of layout. So this layout you can see initially, this is the process layout. You can see this black dots here in each and every cell. This is the midpoints or centroid of the department. Okay, suppose this is one department. So here this is a middle point which is being shown in the black circle. This is a midpoint or centroid of the department. Okay, this is for the second, this is for the third, this is fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. So the purpose of showing this midpoint is like, this is a core of the department where all the activities are being centered out. Okay, suppose the department 1 is for milling, department 2 is for drilling, department 3 is for boring. So there in the department 1, the center point for milling, where all the materials and each and everything are being kept and the process is done, is being shown with the help of this black dot. Same way for second, same way for third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. So this is a initial layout, which is the first step of the graph. Now you need to do the calculations. Like you can see, initially the layout centroid will be, see, we have made the center points like this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you need to calculate the centroid. So how you can able to calculate the centroid is, you mark these particular values. See, these are the distributions of the graph. So you take all this particular layout on the graph. You take this layout on the graph and then mark the points. Like I will start, suppose I have 1 minute. I will start here. I will give the value to this particular thing, like 1, here 2, here 3, 4, then here 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Okay. Then here make the department name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Initial centroid calculation in the x direction. This is an x direction. This is y direction. Initial coordinates here is, origin is 0, 0. Here from the 0, 0 on the right hand side, this is x direction. So this will also be x. This axis is y. So this is also y. So here also on the y you can have 1, 2, 3. Here you can also give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, like that. Okay. So here, if we just move to the third, like here, third will be the main particular thing. Like here you can see in the first department, midpoints occurs on the y-axis also, on the third, and here also it will be third. जो हमारा मिड पॉइंट है वो लाई कर रहा है थर्ड वैल्यू पे here on the x also and third value पे y also. So it is written here 3 and 3 on x and y. Same way if we'll see on the 2 पे हम देखते हैं तो it is lying on 13 here if you will see it is also lying on 2. Same way 3 in the third department centroid is lying in between 16 and 17, so it will be 16.5. okay, जो हमारा थर्ड डिपार्टमेंट में जो एक्स एक्सिस पे हमारा सेंट्रॉइड लाई कर रहा है that will be occurring in between 16 and here if I will consider 17. 1 minute. Here if I will consider 17, so in between that 16.5, so third is lying 16.5 here, and here if you see the value will be 7, sorry 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So here on the third it will be lying on the y-axis. If you see that is on 2. Same way if you see the 4, the middle point is lying 1 minute 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the fourth point the value is lying in between 9 and 10. So it will be lying here. So it will be 9.5. Okay, in the x-axis, in the x it is lying 9.5. Similarly here if you see y it will be lying on the 7. Same way for fifth, if you will see middle point lying on the third in the x-axis, तीसरे पे lie कर रहा है, and then on the y-axis it is lying on the 7. Okay, sixth if you will see this will be the middle point, so it is lying in between 9 to 10, so 9.5, and here it will be on 11. Seventh if you will see in the middle it is lying, so it will lying between 1 and 2, so 1.5. Here if you see it is lying, so it will be 1.5, and here if you see it will be 10. Same way 8 will be 4.5 and 10. So this is a way like how you can able to show and make a table for the initial layout centroid for the according to the steps that you have to follow for graph. Okay, then 1 minute I will just remove the annotation. Then we will move forward. Then you need to compute the interdepartmental distances. Distance measurement should be for departments where we can have the computation like 1 to 3, 1 to 7, 2 to 8, 3 to 5, 4 to 2, 4 to 7, 5 to 8, 6 to 1, 6 to 3, 6 to 4, 8 to 1 and 8 to 4. Like you need to have the department which should be communicative. Like for example, if you take the value of first value of 1 to 3, okay, that will be given in the question 1 to 3. Okay, so from 1 to 3 we have to calculate the value. So initially if you'll see from the 1 this direction, this is the origin point 0 0, so the value of 1 will be 0, and if you'll see the value of 3. So we have to add up while going to the next slide. 3. So here on the 3, 16.5 plus the value of 3. So it will be like if you see the x-axis 16.5, and here on the 1 point it will be, we are moving towards 1 to 3. So 3 plus 16.5. Okay, like that. So like this, you have to add up 18.5. Then when we are moving from 1 to 7, 8.5. Similarly, 16.5, 14.5. Initially at 2. Suppose you are moving from 2 to 8. So initially at 2, it will be 0 because you are starting, your origin will be from 2. So from 2 to 8, you are moving. So 2, the origin will be 0. So you have to put 0. And then on the 8 here, okay, you have to put 16.5 by adding the values in the x and y direction. In the this is a y direction and this is a x direction. So y direction 2 to 4 or 4 to 2, add up the values and then you can able to get the 0 values and here another value. So your next step is when you fill this particular table, you have to find out the cost. So cost is equals to distance into the reward. So your value for the reward will be 18.5, which we have got, and for the cost in the x direction, it will be 20. Since our values will be 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 20. So 20 into 18.5 plus 2 into 8.5 plus 1 into 16.6, because we are moving towards 1 to 2, 20 into 2, 1 to 2 like this. So we will get 678.5. And then the exchange of 1, 3 and 1, 2, that we will see in the next particular turn. Okay. Next turn, we will see the more calculations of the centroid of the graph, and then we will have the calculations. Now, this type of the questions can come in the exam. You are having the layout, which will be there, A, B, C, D, E, F, and A, B, C, D, E, F. The values are given. Okay. Accordingly, you need to find out the interchange of the department. So we will discuss the interchange and all in detail in the next turn. Okay. So today I have discussed with you about the different types of the layout and the craft. What is basically the craft is. So again, I am going to repeat it. So that is a computerized relative allocation of the facilities technique craft, which is a tool, and that is being used to improve the existing layout of the facilities. The facilities is improved by swapping two or more departments to help arrange the facilities to an optimum floor plan. Draft is more popular than the other base layout procedure. It is an improvement algorithm and it starts with the initial layout and proceeds to improve the layout by interchanging the departments pairwise to reduce the total material transportation cost. It does not give the optimum layout, but the results are good and near optimal, and which will later be corrected to suit the need of the layout planner. There are various features of the craft, like it attempts to minimize the transportation cost, where transportation cost is flow into distance into unit cost. It requires assumption that move costs are independent of the equipment utilization and move costs are linearly related to the length of the move. So the different particular point that you need to consider for craft is like distance matrix. It is being used in the rectilinear distance between the department centroids. I told you about how to calculate the centroids. You understood how to calculate the centroids and fill up the table. Craft being path-oriented method. So final layout is dependent on the initial layout. Therefore, the number of initial layouts should be used as an input to the craft. So craft allows the use of dummy departments to represent fixed areas in the layout. What are the basic features of the craft? Is like craft input requirements are as follows, like initial data, flow data, cost per unit distance. Okay, ये steps आपको follow करने हैं. First of all, आपको initial layout बनाना है. That is the process layout. Initial layout means the process layout because craft follows the process layout. Then the flow data, as I told you, map the centroid and all, and then they make the flow data. Then the cost per unit distance, total number of departments, fixed departments by interchanging their locations, and then find the area of the department. This is a way like your particular problems for the feature, you can say the features of the craft will be helpful for the people in order to carry out this activity. Now, when the craft will be used, so craft is used when the number of departments is enormous, that is manual computation, that will be nearly impossible to do, and craft is basically the process approach which will be used one minute student. All students, Devat sir will be coming to take the lecture in MA009 only, in which I am taking just now. So those students who are there in the college, they can come or in the offline mode and they can attend the lecture in MA009. Okay. I'm telling you about the what does the craft do. So craft do uses a pair-wise exchange algorithm. Okay, that may not return the optimum result because the final solution depends on the initial solution layout of the plant. Okay, remember these things. Your final solution here depends upon the initial layout of the plant that you have considered. So rather than examining all the possible swaps, okay, rather than examine all the possible swaps, craft will consider the swap of only adjacent department pair or pairs that have the same value. Okay, so you can have the graph that is considering the swap of only adjacent department pairs and the pairs that have the same area. So based on this particular thing, what are the basic steps of the graph which has been modified in number of times? But we are having the use of OFAD as a reference, a four-step algorithm that will tackle the selection of MHS and layout. So these are the following steps like determine the initial layout, select an MHS for the layout obtained in the first step from a candidate list of equipment, calculate and revise the cost of each move-based material handling equipment. To each move, these three first step is repeated until a satisfactory solution is obtained. That is to get a good quality final solution. The users must provide different starting solution and evaluate the final solution obtained by craft for each of these and chooses the best one. Okay, so these are the various steps that you can adopt. First step is you have to determine the initial layout, that is the process layout. Second is select an MHS for the layout and obtain the first step from a candidate list of equipment. And then third is calculate the revised cost of each move based on the material handling equipment. These three first steps is repeated until the satisfactory solution is obtained. So to get a good quality final solution, the user must provide the different starting solutions, evaluate the final solution obtained by the craft for each of these and choose the best one. The fact that what are the advantages of the craft is the fact that the calculation is done by computer. Sophisticated calculating machine is clearly advantages that saves a lot both of time and money in the process. Second is like it gives us the room to define the variables and constraints that we are have here in the world. And third is flexibility can be seen as there are 6 buttons that can be utilized to generate series of different solutions. And the disadvantage of the craft is it will be inefficient. Job time, occurred jobs does not flow through an orderly fashion and therefore backtracking occurs often. Idle time more idle and may experience. The note and results may be needed in order to modify craft because once craft can determine a solution, it may be needed to be managed to create a layout that will fit into the plant. And greedy algorithm, since it is algorithm that always takes the best immediate solution. So in contrary, a job shop that flows through the system is not always constant and can cause fluctuation in the process. So next time we will see the other things related to the craft and then we will complete the course. So for your mid-sem, from my section, this whole particular chapter of plant layout and location decision will be coming, which includes the different things related to the plant layout, different type of plant layout, craft and all these. Okay, we will frame the official syllabus for the mid-sem and then we will inform you. But roughly I am telling you from my side, this will be the chapter, the whole chapter that will be coming. So you have to study and then Devat sir will tell you this particular part. So all the students, if you want to ask anything, you can ask, or if not, you can give your attendance and you can leave the Those who have given the attendance quickly, you can leave the meeting quickly. Okay, if everybody has given the attendance, I am going to end the meeting. Thank you.